It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
What did they do to me?
Let's get our bearings.
Did I leave my calipers? No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Not a very chatty fellow, are you?
You're there. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea, of course, and have been for several days.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits. And if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well.
Good gods! There's
A young
been a
magister
murder
stands
here.
pale and silent. Her knuck... Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies...
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does.
No known associates.
Aren't you enterprising? Go ahead. She with the body.
Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did. Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us.
Waters is investigating. Aren't you? Go ahead.
Ugly sight. Burns me up this happened. Finn didn't see it like that. We'll find out who did this.
She looks up at you with a...
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. I thought as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the... Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. So, anything interesting for me? No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others.
Sing us a song, I know you can.
I forgot how to sing. I did.
Ah, there you are. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm...
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an as quickly as they came. The cloud...
Good luck, Chief.
We just skipped to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet.
Well,
long enough for
well.
me to listen.
What have we here?
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is, oh goodness, no. And on to the second question. Can you knit? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the very basics, then? So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions... As per your own testimony, you can tailor and groom. Still, beggars can't be choosers. So without further ado, I offer you my sincerest congratulations. You should probably come to terms with the fact that you've half a mind, full stop. Rein in your impertinence, will you? I'm a fair man. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your due...
Trying to concentrate.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
Things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from
And?
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
A calming sort of sound, isn't it? Where there's talk, there's health. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that. Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other...
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise. Pardon my beard. That means if we've been travelling for... Yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy.
The dwarf leans back from the table and...
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers. Meanwhile, the magisters feast on honeyed meat.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and takes your hand, turning it this way and that, examining it from every angle. Finally, he pinches your skin, gently tugging at it.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
What purpose did that serve? Was that a greeting? Oh dear. I seem to have crossed some cultural taboo. You have my apologies, human. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Ah, yes. Then my name is Fane. I am a scholar from... Well, I am a seeker of knowledge. It is pleasurable to meet you. Hardly. I've been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in... No. I want to know about the Celestial. This text tells me that they created all creatures. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where... Of course you don't have any useful information. Now please, run along.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book.
Skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
He tugs the collar of his uniform and chuckles.
Sorry you're upset, sir. But you head on in now.
Keep with those bolts trained on her. And if she keep with those...
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close.
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happening?
That woman. What's she done? No time for chatter. We've got to get out of here.
water. Wine, for goodness sake.
The lizard's eyes close. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You...
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use.
The dice roll darkly.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters.
The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Please, make it stop.
Thank the gods!
He eyes the collar circling your neck, and
Another sorcerer!
the Magister's companion doesn't blink, frozen in place at the sight of you. He leaps to attention.
Don't just cower there, Rix!
Rix raises...
Bishop Alexander, if Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order?
God damn it! We need to get off this wreck, and quick!
Through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous...
No. It catches fire. It turns into must when wet. It cannot even
The skeleton looks up.
Oh, it's you. Shouldn't you be running and screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his...
Yes, indeed. It's the look of... Now, if you're really quite finished, I believe you have lifeboats to flee to. Please, I was no more an elf than you are. I had a mask, rather ingeniously designed, which allowed... A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools. and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead... Indeed. Just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving... I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die around...
The skeleton shrugs. The marking on the door was you press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels it doesn't budge. The door groans.
Something's breaking through.
Death fog. Good thing I'm immune. Still, this means trouble.
Children and the dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting...
Frank, there's a ladder right over...
You're gonna be the death of a...
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound. The Magister lies on the... The Magister lies on... The Magister lies on... The Magister lies on the floor.
Wait! Find Woken!
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
Prepare yourself!
Hurts, doesn't it?
They who are about to triumph.
Bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
They smell even worse dead than alive. Let's head above decks for some air.
Wait! We need to wait!
There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.